Welcome to Mystic Stories and Folktales. I'm Abena, and today we'll be looking at a tale of courage and unity titled The Golden Drum of Amani. In the Kingdom of Amani, long ago, in the heart of Ghana, there was a kingdom called Amani, known for its prosperity and the harmony among its people. The source of this unity was a sacred artifact, the Golden Drum of Amani. Legend had it that the drum was a gift from the gods, and whenever it was played, it brought peace and abundance to the land. The drum was kept in the king's palace and was only played during important ceremonies such as the harvest festival and the coronation of new kings. Its sound was so powerful that it echoed through the mountains and valleys, reminding the people of Amani of their shared heritage and the strength they drew from their unity. However, there was one rule that everyone in the kingdom knew. The golden drum could never be played with selfish intent or in times of conflict. If the drum were used for personal gain or in times of discord, it would lose its power and the kingdom would fall into chaos. One fateful year, a severe drought struck the land of Amani. The rivers dried up, the crops withered, and the animals grew weak. The people, once united in their prosperity, began to bicker and fight over the dwindling resources. The once peaceful kingdom was now divided, with villagers blaming each other for the hardships they faced. Amid this growing discord, a young man named Kwame, who lived in a small village on the outskirts of Amani, watched in despair as his people turned against each other. Kwame had always been a thoughtful and compassionate soul, known for his wisdom beyond his years. He loved his kingdom deeply and could not bear to see it torn apart. One night, Kwame had a dream. In the dream, the spirits of his ancestors appeared before him, urging him to journey to the palace and play the golden drum. They told him that only the sound of the drum could restore peace and unity to the land. But there was a catch. The drum could only be played by someone with a pure heart, free of selfish desires. When Kwame awoke, he knew what he had to do. Despite the risk, he set out on the long journey to the palace. Along the way, he encountered many challenges. He had to cross the great river, which had shrunk to a mere trickle, and navigate the dense forest. In the forest, wild animals roamed in search of food, but Kwame pressed on, his determination fueled by his love for his people. When Kwame finally reached the palace, he was greeted by the king, who was surprised to see a young villager seeking an audience. Kwame explained his mission and his dream, and though the king was skeptical, he admired the young man's courage. The king decided to test Kwame's purity. He ordered his advisors to present Kwame with 3 challenges, each designed to tempt him into selfishness. The first challenge: The king's advisors offered Kwame a chest filled with gold and jewels, enough to make him the richest man in Amani. But Kwame refused, saying, "What good is wealth if my people are suffering?" The second challenge. They then offered him the hand of the most beautiful maiden in the kingdom. But again, Kwame refused, replying, "What good is love if it is born out of greed?" The third challenge. Finally, they offered him the throne itself, promising him power and control over all of Amani. But Kwame turned them down, saying, "What good is power if it leads to the ruin of my people?" Impressed by Kwame's selflessness, the king allowed him to approach the golden drum. The young man stood before the drum, his heart filled with the hope of restoring peace to his land. With a deep breath, he lifted the drumsticks and began to play. As Kwame played the golden drum, its sound resonated through the kingdom, louder and more beautiful than ever before. The sound carried over the hills and valleys, reaching every corner of Amani. The people who had been quarreling and fighting stopped in their tracks as the sound washed over them. The drum's music reminded them of their shared history, of the times when they had stood together against all odds. It filled their hearts with a sense of unity, and they began to weep, realizing how far they had strayed from the values that had once bound them together. As the last note of the drum echoed through the kingdom, the skies darkened and a gentle rain began to fall. The drought ended, the rivers swelled with water, and the crops began to grow again. The people of Amani rejoiced, and they knew that their unity had been restored. From that day on, Kwame was celebrated as a hero, not for his strength or power, but for his courage, wisdom, and selflessness. The golden drum was placed in the new shrine where it was guarded by the elders, and it was played only when the kingdom needed to be reminded of the importance of unity and selflessness. The story of Kwame and the golden drum was passed down through generations, a reminder that true strength lies not in wealth, power, or beauty, but in the purity of one's heart and the courage to do what is right. The moral of the story is that true unity is achieved not through power or wealth, but through selflessness, courage, and the strength of a pure heart. See you in the next video. Bye bye.